Hello everyone, myself Sowmya, Assistant Professor in CSE AIML Department, MLR Institute of Technology. So in this video, we are going to discuss about PHP control structures. So we know in every programming language, we have different control structures like looping statements or selection statements or switch statement, break statement. So according to our requirement, we are going to use them. So like other programming languages, in PHP also, we have different conditional statements or control structures. So all those things we are going to discuss in this video. So coming to the overview of this presentation, in this video, we are mainly covering conditional statements, different looping statements, and we will also see some example applications. So first of all, conditional statement. So here we have different conditional statements in PHP like previous programming languages. So conditional statements in the sense based on the condition, the path will be chosen. So if the condition is true, what I need to execute. If the condition is failed, what I need to execute. So based on that conditions, if you have one condition, you need to choose one. If you have two conditions, you need to choose one type of conditional statement. If you have multiple conditions, then you need to choose another type of conditional statement. So based on the requirement, you can choose any of these conditional statements. So what are the different conditional statements we have in PHP? The first one is if statement. So this is a simple if statement. We have only one condition here. If the condition is true, then the block will be executed. So the syntax is like this: if of condition, if this condition is true, so this block of statements will be executed. Next is if else. So if the condition is true, this block will be executed. But what about false condition? If the condition fails, what happens? I'm going to write else block here. If the condition is true, then the if block will be executed. If the condition is failed, then else block will be executed. Otherwise, so this is only for one condition. This is for like two conditions. And next, if I have more than two conditions, then I need to go with the if else statement. That is also called as else if ladder. So initially I am writing one condition using if, then the second condition you are writing using else if, and the third condition again else if. So like this you can write any number of conditions and the last block will be again else block. So if the first condition is true, then this will be executed and it comes out of it. It doesn't check the second condition. If the first condition is failed, then it will come to the second one. If the second is executed, that's all. It will not check the remaining. So if the second also fails, then it will go to the 3. So like that, it will check all the conditions. If all the conditions are failed, then by default, the last block, else block will be executed. And next is switch statement. So switch statement is also similar to else if ladder. So where we are going to use for multiple conditions. If I have multiple conditions, so basically we are going to use else if ladder. The same thing, we can also do it using the switch statement. So we'll see one by one with examples. So the first one is simple if. So this is the syntax. If of condition, if the condition is true, then this block of code will be executed. So this is one simple example I'm writing here. So I'm starting the PHP code using the symbol. Then I'm creating a variable here. $T is a variable. So why I'm saying it's a variable? So if the name starts with a dollar, it will be considered as a variable. Now what is this $T value? So date of hours. So you're calling the date function, but in that date function, I'm taking only the hours value. Now check this value. If $T is less than 20, then what I'm printing a message called have a good day. So that the output for this program is have a good day. So based on the current time. So whatever the current time is there, based on that time, if it is less than 20 hours, then it will be printed as have a good day. So try to execute all these programs once after completing the explanation part. So next is if else statement. So in if else statement, we are going to write two blocks. The first block contains if condition. If the condition is true, this block will be executed. If the condition fails, then the second block, else block, will be executed. Now coming to the example program, the same $T which will be assigned to date function, but in that date function I'm taking only the hours value. So now if the $T value is less than 20, then I'm printing have a good day. Otherwise, if it is not less than 20, then what I need to print? I should print a message called have a good night. So if it is not less than 20, if it is above 20, obviously it is the night value. At that time, you will get this message have a good night. So that is about if else. So in the previous case, we are focusing only on the if condition. If the condition fails, what happens in the previous program? I don't get any output. If the condition is true, then I'll get this output. But if the condition is false, then I don't get any output. But coming to the second case, if else, if the condition is true, I'm going to get this. If the condition is failed, I'm going to get this. So that is the use of if else. And coming to the next one, else if ladder. So where we have multiple conditions. So in the first one, we are writing if of condition. If the condition is true, execute this. Next, else if followed by condition. If the second condition is true, execute this. So like that, you can write any number of else ifs. And lastly, you are writing else block. If all these conditions fails, then by default, the last block, else block, will be executed. So this is an example program, the same $t, which I am taking date function. So in that date function, I am considering only the h value. So now the $t is less than 10 value, it is morning. So I am wishing have a good morning. If it is less than 20, that means if it is in between 10 and 20, why? Because if this condition fails, then only it will come to the second condition. So if it is not less than 10, then it is coming to the second one. If it is less than 20, that means if it is in between 10 to 20, you are giving a message called have a good day. Otherwise, if these two conditions are failed, then by default the last else block will be executed. So there I am printing have a good night message. So before going to switch statement, we will try to execute all these programs. So this is simple if. So in a notepad, I'm copying this, I'm saving this. So for saving, I should save this program in the htdocs folder. So in the previous videos, we have seen, we have installed exam server. So in exam server, we have htdocs folder. In htdocs, I have created my own folder Sowmya. So here I'm saving my program as 2.php. So to execute this program, first I need to start my exam server. So start your server. So I'm just starting the Apache. Right. So now you can execute your program. Where I need to execute the program? In the browser, I should type localhost/Sowmya. Now it will show all my programs which are there in my folder. So now my program is 2.php. So what is the message I'm getting? Have a good day. So the time is less than 20. So that's why I'm getting have a good day. So this is simple if. The same way for if else. So now again the message is have a good day. So you can change the condition if you want. So have a good morning you're getting. So next is else if ladder for multiple conditions. So again I'm getting have a good morning message. So that means it is less than 10. So the hours is less than 10. So that's why you're getting have a good morning. So next is switch statement. So switch is also similar to else if ladder where I can go with the multiple conditions. So the syntax for switch statement is switch off. You're going to write the switch variable n. So whatever the variable n is there, so that will be compared against with these labels. So here you are writing different cases. So like in else if ladder, we are writing different else if conditions. Here we are going to write different cases. So case, the label 1, case, label 2, case, label 3 and so on. And you are also writing the default case. So after writing this each cases, if this n values matches with the label 1, then the first case will be executed and you need to stop the process there itself. So that's why you are writing break. So here break is mandatory. If you don't write the break, it will be continued with the remaining cases also. So if that case is matching, I want the execution of only that particular part. So I need to break the process there itself after completing that. So for that purpose, you need to break it. So like that, all the conditions, all the cases will be written. If no case is matched, then by default, the default case will be executed. So here, the default case, wherever you want, you can write. So you don't need to write at the bottom, last in the switch case. Wherever you want, in the start, in the middle or in the last, wherever you want, you can write this default case. So default is just similar to else in the else if ladder. So in the else if ladder, if all the conditions fail, then the else block will be executed. So in the same way in switch case also, if all the cases are failed, then the default case will be executed. So this is one simple program here. So I'm just declaring a variable favorite color as red. Then in switch, I'm just passing the favorite color. So what is our favorite color? Red. So here I'm writing different cases. The first case is red, second case is blue, third case is green, and then default. So if this red is matching with any of these cases, the corresponding case will be executed. So our color is red, so I should get the message your favorite color is red, then stop the process there itself by using the break statement. If it is other than red, blue, green, then you should get this message your favorite color is not listed. So like that I should get. So but here I have given the color as red, so I should get the output as your favorite color is red. So we'll try to execute this. So your favorite color is red. So now if I give any color orange, so I'm getting your favorite color is not listed. That means the default case will be executed here. So these are all conditional statements. So next we have looping statements. Looping in the sense, here also it will check the condition, but if the condition is true, then the loop will be executed and it will be repeated. So looping means iteration. So it will be repeated, iterated until the condition becomes false. We have different loops in PHP: while loop, do while loop, for loop, and for each loop. So all the four loops, the purpose is same, iterating the set of statements, but the syntax is different. So we'll see one by one with examples. The first one is while loop. So while off, you should write the condition. So within this block, you're going to write the code which you want to execute. So if this condition is true, it will be executed. And after executing the code, again it will go back and it will check the condition. So why? Because it is a iterative statements. So this will be repeated. This cycling process will be repeated until the condition becomes false. So how I can make the condition as false? By making some changes, increments or decrements within the while loop. So here we are taking one example. I'm taking a $x as variable which I'm initializing with 1. Now I'm writing a condition $x is less than or equal to 5. So now the $x value is 1. It is less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Then I'll get this message. The number is $x. So what is the number? 1. And after that I'm incrementing the $x value. Now it will become 2. Again it will go back and check. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, true. Again it will print the message 2. Then it will be incremented to 3. 3 will be printed. 4 will be printed. 5 will be printed. Why? Because 5 less than or equal to 5 is also true. After printing 5, the x value will become 6. So whenever the x value becomes 6, the condition will become 6 less than or equal to 5, which is false. So whenever the condition becomes false, it comes out of the loop. While loop. So that's a use of while loop, right? Not only while loop, any loop, iterative statements. So for this program, the output will be, the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after printing 5, it comes out of the loop. So next is do while loop. It's just similar to while, but here before this, in the while, we are first checking the condition. If the condition is true, then only you're going to execute this code. But coming to do while, so for the first time, it will not check any condition. By default, the code will be executed for the first time. And after executing the first time, it will check the code. It will check the condition. If the condition is true, then again it will go back and it will execute. So like that, this process will be repeated. So here same program $x is equal to 1. So I'm just printing the number and then I'm incrementing the value. So here now I'm checking the value. Condition. So what is the condition you are checking now? Whenever you check this condition, the condition will become 2 less than or equal to 5. But in the previous one, while loop, you are checking the condition 1 less than or equal to 5 also. That means there you are checking the condition for 5 to 6 times, but here you are checking the condition 4 to 5 times only. So that's the difference. In the do while, for the first time the condition will not be checked. By default, it will execute the code. The output will be same. And coming to the for loop, so all the things you are writing the initialization part, testing part and increment decrement part at a same place. So that is nothing but for loop here. So if this condition is true, then this will be executed. After execution, it will go to increment part, and after increment decrement part, it will again check the condition. So this process, this looping will be repeated until the condition becomes false. So this is one example with the same output. So I'm initializing the value with y, 1. And the condition is $is less than or equal to 5, and I'm incrementing this value. So now the number is $x. So here again I'll get the same output, but it's a different looping statement. So along with these three, we also have for each loop in PHP. For each loop generally used with the arrays. So here for each, so you are iterating array. So in array, we have multiple values. So at each iteration, you are taking one value from the array and I'm storing that value in a variable called $value. So that $value you're going to execute, you're going to process there, you're going to print there, whatever you want, you can do that. But generally for each loop will be used with the arrays. So here I'm taking one array, so with 4 different values. So for each loop I'm using $colors is the array name, as $value is the variable. So each time, each color, one of the color from the array will be assigned to $value. So that corresponding $value I am printing. So first time $value will be red, second time green, third time blue, the fourth time yellow, fifth time there is no value, the array is over, then the loop, the control will come out of the loop. So that is about the for each loop. So we'll try to execute all these programs, while, do while, for and for each. So the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is using while loop. So do while is also similar, but for the first time the condition will not be checked. So the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next, coming to the for loop, all the statements you are writing at one place. So same output I am getting for loop also. So next is for each loop. So red, green, blue and yellow I am getting in the for each loop. So that is about conditional and looping statements in PHP. So in this video, we have discussed about different conditional statements and looping statements with the example applications. Thank you.